In the heart of Brazil, under a sky heavy with storm clouds, the nation's symbols of power stood silent. But this was not the silence of peace. It was the calm before a political tempest that would shake the foundations of its democracy. January 8, 2023, a date that will forever be etched in Brazilian history. As dusk settled over Brasilia, a wave of humanity began to move. Thousands of silhouettes, driven by a cocktail of political fervor and discontent, marched toward the Three Powers Plaza. The air was thick with tension, a palpable energy that crackled with unspoken intentions. This was not just a protest. It was a tide of anger, a human river flowing towards the heart of the Republic, determined to breach its defenses. The slow, deliberate advance felt like the opening scene of a political thriller, but this was horrifyingly real. What followed was an unprecedented assault. The doors of Congress, the Planalto Palace, and the Supreme Federal Court were breached. Inside, chaos reigned. The hallowed halls of democracy were transformed into scenes of destruction. Overturned furniture, shattered glass crunching underfoot, and the ghostly haze of fire extinguisher dust filled the air. Light streamed through broken windows, illuminating a landscape of devastation. It was a visceral, shocking violation of spaces meant to represent order, debate, and the will of the people. This wasn't a movie set. It was the brutal aftermath of an insurrection. The attack was not just on the buildings, but on the soul of the nation. Priceless works of art, part of Brazil's cultural heritage, were vandalized. A historic clock, a gift from the court of Louis XIV, was smashed. A painting by Emiliano de Cavalcanti, a master of Brazilian modernism, was slashed multiple times. Each act of destruction was a blow against the country's history and identity. These weren't just objects. They were symbols of a shared past, now scarred by a divided present. The damage was a stark, painful metaphor for the deep fractures within Brazilian society. In the aftermath, a massive investigation began. Federal police and intelligence agencies worked tirelessly to piece together the puzzle. Who were the individuals who stormed the buildings? Who financed them? Who incited this attack? An investigation board, much like one you'd see in a spy film, came to life. Photos, names, and locations were connected by a web of red string, tracing the network of a complex, far-reaching conspiracy. The digital footprints left on social media, the bus manifests, the financial transactions, every piece of data was scrutinized to uncover the truth and hold those responsible accountable. The wheels of justice began to turn. Pre-dawn raids saw federal police units fanning out across the country, making hundreds of arrests. Accused rioters, financiers, and alleged instigators were taken into custody. The scenes were dramatic. Flashing lights cutting through the early morning darkness, tense standoffs, and the somber walk of the accused into custody. The cases moved to the courts, with the Supreme Federal Court taking a central role. The trials that followed would test the resilience of Brazil's legal institutions. As the nation watched, waiting for justice and accountability, the world watched in shock. The events of January 8th made headlines across the globe. International leaders condemned the attacks, expressing solidarity with Brazil's democratic institutions. News channels broadcast the images of destruction, and newspapers ran front-page stories. The attack was seen not just as a Brazilian crisis, but as part of a worrying global trend of democratic erosion and political polarization. A map of the world seemed to glow with hot spots of tension, with Brasilia now a prominent, flashing light, serving as a cautionary tale for other nations grappling with similar divisions. The economic impact was immediate. The political instability sent shockwaves through Brazil's financial markets. The national currency, the real, weakened, and the stock market plunged. Investors, both domestic and international, grew wary. Graphs and charts that once showed growth now depicted a sharp, downward trend. In the dark, glowing rooms of the financial district, a different kind of tension took hold. The attack had not only damaged buildings and symbols, it had shaken confidence in the country's economic future, proving how deeply intertwined political stability and economic prosperity truly are. Weeks later, a quiet melancholy settled over the Three Powers Plaza. At night, the vast, empty space was bathed in a soft moonlight. The broken windows had been replaced, the debris cleared, but the memory of the chaos lingered. The Brazilian flag, flying high above the Congress building, waved slowly in the night breeze. It was a lonely, poignant sight, a symbol of resilience but also a somber reminder of the nation's fragility. The attack had ended, but the struggle to heal the divisions, to rebuild trust, and to fortify the country's democracy was just beginning. Brazil stood at a crossroads, its future hanging in the balance under the watchful eyes of a world hoping for its recovery. Thank you for watching this deep dive into a pivotal moment in modern history. If this story resonated with you, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications for more content that explores the critical events shaping our world. Your support helps us continue to bring these important stories to light.